This video will demonstrate how to convert an MHL emergency fixture that cannot be switched to a unit that can be switched off and on that will not interrupt the emergency service. Tools that you will need will be some type of a battery operated drill or with a 5/16 socket, a screwdriver, some cutters and strippers, and some type of splicing nut, and approximately an 18-inch long piece of red wire. Now, it doesn't have to be red, but we suggest using red or some other color that is not black, white, or green. Okay, the first thing we want to do is remove the access cover using the battery operated drill. These screws are self-retaining screws, so they will only loosen so much. I'm going to open this and position it out of the way. The next thing we want to do is, using the screwdriver, is slightly loosen the two screws holding the terminal block plate in place. There are two screws in opposing corners. Slide it to the right and lift it off of the screws and position it up and out of your way for the time being. The next thing we want to do is stand the unit up and remove the 8 screws holding the junction box in place. These are not self-retained screws, and there are lock washers on them, so you'll want to make sure you save all the hardware to be reinstalled later. Once the 8 screws are removed, gently lift the junction box up, and what you are looking for is a white wire with red dots on it. Okay, the next step is to cut the white and red wire as close to the terminal as you can, okay? And what you want to do, we want to strip this, okay, and add our connector on so that we can add our short piece of wire to it. Okay, now that we have these spliced together, what we want to do is run this wire through the hole in the junction box so that it comes up into the terminal compartment. Okay. Next, we're going to reinstall the driver box back onto the emergency box. What you want to be cautious of is that no wires are trapped between the two flanges and get pinched. So let's reinstall, make sure again that there's no wires in the way that can get pinched, and let's reinstall the driver box. Okay, these will be our incoming power leads. Green is for ground, the white is neutral. Black must be on an unswitched continuous line, and the red wire is the wire we just ran that can be switched off and on to turn the unit off and on and will not affect emergency operation. So now we're going to hook it up to a terminal block just to run through some quick tests. Okay, when all the field connections are made and with the power off, what you want to do is strip the red wire that's hanging free and jump it to the opposing side of the terminal block adjacent to the red wire so as it makes a loop. And what this is doing, it will allow the battery to charge and discharge. So now we can reinstall the terminal block. Okay, this is just a preliminary test we're doing to demonstrate how the unit will operate. we're applying temporary power to the unit. Again, this red line is the one that can be switched off and on. When power is applied to it, the unit will come on. When the switch is turned off or power deactivated to the red line, the unit will go off and not affect emergency operation. During normal operation, whether the unit switched off or on, the red indicator light should be illuminated, and what that's telling you is that the emergency battery pack is being charged. When power is lost, the unit will go into the emergency mode. When power is reapplied, it will go back into a charging state. Keep one thing in mind, that the black lead must have continuous uninterrupted power all the time. The red lead is the one that can be switched off and on, which will turn the unit off and on and will not affect emergency operation. Once all field connections are made, you can reinstall the cover and place the unit into service.